Collecting the sample. The brutish dog-eat-dog existence of a slum dweller is far cry from the quiet desperation and existential nothingness of a corporate wage slave. Yet after your time at Telestrian Industries, it's unclear which is more bleak. The elevator rises smoothly, its blanderized music assaulting you once again as you ascend to the executive floor and your goal. Why is that in yellow? Ah, because this is the opposite of where we had our break-in last night. So there's no reason for me to go that way. Sir, there you are. It seems that some of my best are letting me down, and it's good to see that you're displaying one of the most important of the three key virtues. Well, it's duty above all, right? He laughs. Well, yes, that is the first value, and I'm glad more than those outside of security follow it, and from a janitor, no less. No, I'm speaking of my third and final value of vigilance. A vigilance wish seems to be sorely lacking around here. Thank you, sir. I was going to be sarcastic, but it's not time for that. Well, rewards and punishments must be given where required. Now please start filling out the report on the datapad, and I'm afraid I must ask you to not sit in my chair given your attire. I need to go head downstairs and investigate your findings. I'll be right back. Oh, please, sir, take your time. Don't hurry back on my account. Your comm link begins to ring. You pick it up. So, these paintings must be what all that expensive deliveries were. We don't have much time. I'm tracking Silver Star, and he's already stepping off the elevator. I don't think your disguise will hold up much longer. I'll update on your movements. Hurry, mon ami. Well, I guess I had to figure out which one's which, huh? There's an open bottle of expensive scotch and a single glass that appears to be half empty and a smoked cigar. Let's try this one. Photorealistic painting of 5 massive harvesters in Telestrian colors in a staggered formation, cutting a swath across a rippling field of wheat. The plaque reads, Unity. Push the frame. The frame appears around the painting of the harvester, pops back out. Depicted as a clock tower at a train station, the plaque reads, Efficiency. Wait, I bet it's the 3 virtues that he's so obsessed with. Duty. Right, first one's duty. Frame clicks back and plays the wall. He has a few guards. A tech worker and a very nervous wage slave gathered in the boardroom is beginning to question them. Well, good. He can question them for a few minutes longer. Independence. Reads vigilance. That's number 3. Was Unity number 2? Efficiency. This one should be number 3. He has finished interviewing a Matrix tech and is now talking sternly to a pair of guards. Okay. Guess it is. This is a little walkway then. The safe has a large DNA scanner in the front, most likely key to Mr. Silverstar. Okay, I have a slight problem then. Oh, wait a minute. I know what to do. Pick up the half-smoked cigar. This was in his mouth. Ergo. Put the moistened cigar in the DNA scanner. Click and a faint hiss of escaping air, the safe opens. Great work, mon ami. The time for stealth is past. It has set off every alarm in the system, but I have unlocked the executive elevator and your path is clear. Head to the elevator and make your escape. All too happy to do precisely that, sir. Well, nothing for it. Hey, this is a restricted area. You can't go in there. That's cool. It's a shame Rinko is the beta type with the shortest legs, right? Run, Rico! Whoa! Detective McCluskey stands smirking, surrounded by armed and twitchy Lone Star officers. Good morning, moron. Good morning, Detective McCluskey. It's a fine day for police corruption, isn't it? Smirk broadens. That's right, dummy. Keep flapping your jaw. That sort of thing would be perfect for where you're going. Mr. Telestrian wants to meet you in person. He wants to chat about last night's fun and games. And you can come along quietly, or you can meet him in a body bag. He smiles wolfishly. Come on, Drek for brains. Make the wrong choice. I'll opt for a stand-up conversation. I was hoping to be able to bring you in feet first. No, now's not the time for that. We gotta prioritize here. Something is bigger than us right now. From the floor of the Lone Star Cruiser, you watch the tops of the downtown corridor's office buildings disappear, replaced by the gray overcast over the I-90 bridge. The nylon restraints binding your wrists and ankles, along with McCluskey's whistling to the radio, makes for an unpleasant ride. A half hour later, the cruiser hits a whisper-smooth patch of road and a magnificent mansion fills your view, its design a blend of old-world finery and elvish grace. The car pulls to an abrupt halt, and you're dragged into the driveway where McCluskey pulls a nasty-looking knife and cuts your bonds. You look up to see you're surrounded by a squad of green-clad ghosts, special force troops from Tir Tangire. Massaging the feeling back into your numb extremities, you prepare to meet the man himself, James Telestrian III. McCluskey smirks. Want some advice, moron? Of course you don't. You're a Shadowrun, you live by your own rules, don't ya? I suggest you keep your smart aleck remarks to yourself this time, dwarf. Mr. Telestrian isn't some street meat you can impress or intimidate. He's the brains behind the throne of Tir Tangire and one of the richest men in Seattle. And he holds your leash, right, McCluskey? You his lapdog? His eyes say I'd love to kill you now, but his mouth continues to smirk. I got one of the richest and most powerful men in the Pacific Northwest taking care of me. What do you got? Free will. You're dumber than I thought. Enjoy your chat. I'll dispose of your body later. The tall, fussy elf with the air of a Victorian butler studies you from afar before your diminutive height before he speaks. He doesn't like what he sees. Mr. Telestrian is expecting you. You'll find him in his office. U.S. Butler. I am Mr. Quoth, his head of household. Mr. Telestrian is waiting for you in his office. He is not one to be kept waiting. Alright. Sure looks like a pretentious elven mansion. As you approach, James Telestrian III looks up from the computer screen built into the surface of his desk and assesses you. Calculating in cold, a practiced smile comes to his face. He vibes the kind of rich you don't get from Trivid. I'm not sure how you say that word, to be honest. It's not the clothing or the trappings or the bow before your better's mansion. It's something else. The feeling that you're being categorized. Resource. Liability. Pawn. I've been reviewing the results of your visit to my Seattle office last night. I admit, they are impressive. You have generated a considerable amount of damage to my office complex, killed or wounded many of my security personnel, and cost my vice president of security his job. In 24 hours, you have accumulated quite a bill with me, ma'am. How do you intend to settle your debts? You already confiscated the container I took. I have no other bargaining chips. First, some instruction. You do not begin a negotiation by admitting that you have nothing with which to negotiate. However, you were considering your tactical situation. That tells me that you're more than a mere street thug. Allow me to instruct you further. You have one piece of information which you might use as a bargaining chip in the little time you have left to live. Why you took what you took. I am interested to know why you and your team of criminals fought your way through my security teams up to my private office to access the Matrix and uncover the location of a simple research project. It goes like this. Your half-brother, Sam Watts, hired me to find his own killer. He had a dead man switch. When I find the killer, I get paid. You impress me, ma'am. My father's illegitimates are intentionally not well known, even to themselves. Nevertheless, I fail to see the connection between this Sam Watts' death and the raid on one of my office buildings. There is no connection between the research project and the dead man that I am aware of. Sam was killed by your half-sister, Jessica. Jessica is protected by giant bugs. Aegis kills giant bugs. Kill the bugs. Kill Jessica. Get paid. I find your bluntness somehow refreshing. He touches a button on the desk. Mr. Quoth, please ask my daughter to join us. The young, pretty elf has dark circles under her eyes and a haunted expression on her face. She recognizes you instantly. It's you! You were the woman who helped me escape from the Universal Brotherhood. How did you get here? Telestrian cuts in quickly. Thank you, Maria Louise. You have confirmed the identity of your rescuer and given me reason to forgive her for her trespasses against me. She looks hungry for your help. I'm glad you're here. Good to see you got it okay, Marie Louise. I'm not okay. I can't sleep at all. I'm afraid this is a dream, and that I'll wake up and still be there with the bugs. You can relax, Marie Louise. You are safe. It is over. No, it won't be over until they're all dead, she shudders. You didn't see them. You don't understand. You and those men you flew in here, all you do is talk. It's just like you to form a committee, Father. I knew that someone had to take action. That's why I got Harkeem involved. The already cold exterior of James Telestrian III turns to ice. I see. It was you and your crippled little friend who leaked Aegis to this woman. We will speak of it later, in private. Now then, Diamond Ring, there are people I wish you to meet. The committee, my daughter alluded to. This is a rare opportunity for a woman of the street such as yourself. I urge you to behave. We will adjourn to the library. I'd be delighted. I don't know if that's sarcasm or not. Just behave. I'm trying to be polite. I don't feel like having the situation suddenly turn on me. So wait until Telestrian's library. A sense of magnitude and purpose. You're no longer in the presence of mere wealth. You are in the presence of history. Lady and gentlemen, this is Diamond Ring. She is the dwarf who saved my daughter and the only one who has faced our common enemy in combat. Herr Brackhaus, what does the representative of the great dragon Lofweir have to tell us of the magic insect this Shadowrunner uncovered? Brackhaus speaks slowly with a deep, melodious German accent. He takes his time, accentuating each word, relishing each vowel and each consonant, tasting them as if they were a delicacy. My lord Lofweir has witnessed the insect spirit's physical manifestation before, roughly 9,000 years ago. As you are aware, magic ebbs and flows from the earth, cycling from peak to peak over the course of 5,200 years. As the level of magic grows... Hans, dear, I love you, but you could babble on forever, and I believe time is of the essence. The painted elf addresses you. Diamond Ring, is it? Delighted. The bug you fought was not merely a magically awakened animal like a wyvern or hydra or something else of the sixth world. In fact, it isn't from this world at all. It's the physical embodiment of an insect spirit from another plane of existence. Is that why I couldn't kill it? Exactly so. Your little buggy friend exists on both planes simultaneously. Now, an insect spirit can't simply thumb a ride through astral space and show up on Earth late for dinner. Dinner, in this case, being us. 2 elements are required to bring one across the void, a shaman and a host. First, the spirit calls upon a shaman, often in dreams. The spirit seduces the shaman with promises of great power. The shaman then accepts the spirit as his totem. Next, the insect spirit requires suitable host. The best candidates are the disaffected and the disenfranchised, in short, the weak-willed. Their minds are the most susceptible to suggestion, which is helpful in making the transformation. As you may imagine, there are sort of people easily attracted to a cult, such as the Universal Brotherhood. Finally, by performing what has to be a truly disgusting ritual, the shaman serving the insect totem implants the spirit into the host, willingly or not. Then, it's feeding time. Quinn is correct. The insect spirit, will then slowly consume its host, while transforming it into the spirit's own insectoid body, thus manifesting itself fully on this plane. I don't like the sound of this. You shouldn't. It's bad. Really, really bad. The initial bugs prepare a nest for the summoning of a queen. Once a nest has its queen, she literally explodes with newly manifested insect spirits. They swarm out of the nest, feasting on all the flesh they can find and implanting more insect spirits into the fresh corpses. Again, and again, and again. The room falls silent as they all consider the scenario. Faces grim. Telestrian breaks the silence. This is not an infestation, Diamond Ring. This is an invasion. My lord Lofweir knew this day would come, but he did not know precisely when nor where. Your rescue of Mr. Telestrian's daughter has exposed the existence of an insect spirit for the first time in this cycle of the world. So we're early to the party this time. That gives you the upper hand, right? We are not early. We merely have experience on our side. The insect spirit is only a resident in the transformed host's body. Conventional weapons can hurt the body, would expose the spirit, but the spirit itself cannot be destroyed by mundane means. Hence, Project Aegis. Herr Telestrian's biotechnology and agricultural divisions worked with my Lord Lofweir's thaumaturgical engineers and designed Project Aegis to destroy an insect spirit once it is released from its host. The formula, a fluorescing astral bacteria strain, exists in the physical and astral plane at once, and can thus affect the insect spirit. Now that was a mouthful. Did you memorize it, or are you reading it off index cards? My director of R&D, Diane Ravenwood, will explain how Project Aegis will be used in the field. Dr. Ravenwood. Our weapons specialists have rapidly prototyped a delivery device for the fluorescing astral bacteria strain. They created some prototype launchers which fire Aegis-filled shells. When fired, the shells will discharge a high-velocity stream of the bacteria. In order to destroy one of the bugs, it must be damaged using conventional weapons or magic until the spirit is released from the host. Then the insect spirit must be shot with the Project Aegis prototype launcher to destroy it. So in order to stop an invasion of insects from another dimension, a dragon and an elf co-created a magical insecticide. Crudely put, but accurate. We must stop the Universal Brotherhood from summoning a queen, and we must stop them immediately. You are the only one who has been inside the facility, and the only one who has personally fought these creatures before. That, along with your highly effective assault upon my property, indicates that you are an ideal person to lead the attack. I'm flattered. The painted elf grins, and his red lipstick catches the light. You should be. Come on, kid. When fate taps you on the shoulder, you gotta pay attention. Unfortunately, she has a nasty habit of tapping you on the opposite shoulder, so that when you turn around, she's on your other side, giggling like a deranged schoolgirl. I hate that. Enough. Are you willing to undergo this mission, Diamond Ring? You had me at killing bugs. Show me how to use Aegis, and I'll get it done. Excellent. He claps his hand as if seeing the circus for the first time. I love the way that short-lived are willing to die even faster. It's very inspirational. Brackhouse raises his hand, and Harlequin's clapping instantly stopped. There is one final note, a warning, if you will. You have seen the danger the insects represent, but you would not witness the shaman's power. The shaman must tap into a powerful source of magic in order to summon a queen. We do not know what abilities that power source will grant. Beware of the insects, but do not underestimate the shaman. Hey, don't scare the kid, Hansel. We still need her to go on the mission. By the by, I'm coming with you, Diamond Ring. I wouldn't mind seeing these creatures for myself. I missed them last time. Telestrian will bankroll you so you can hire the rest of the team. Find me when you're ready to go, and we'll bug right out of here. He sighs. Yes, speak with Harlequin when you are ready to depart. If you wish to acquire additional supplies for your mission, find my assistant Quoth. He is highly resourceful. 10,000 is going to buy me a lot of stuff. I want it. And honestly, it's time for you guys to understand that we really need to get serious here. Because it's about to get real. And we need the big shooty boom boom. Nothing but damage. Now, there was a small deception on my part, and it's something that's very important to the mission we're about to undertake. Shotguns actually are my favorite weapon in the game, but you actually can get to this point without using them, which is going to come to a head here in a moment. Hold that thought in mind. They provide spells, spirit, foci, or fetishes to help you on your quest. No, I'm good. Where is Quoth? Oh, hello. I was listening. It sounds bad. Yep. Thank you for everything. It'll be fine. I believe you. You look like you have a question. Why were you locked up at the Universal Brotherhood? Father didn't approve of my boyfriend and tried to scare him off. Something went wrong and Harkeem ended up in a wheelchair. Father covered the whole thing up and lied to me about Harkeem. Told me horrible things, and I believed him. My Aunt Lynn told me the truth about Harkeem and how my father lied. She preyed upon my anger. I was so disgusted with him, it was easy for her to get me to leave and join her new family at the Universal Brotherhood. What did Lynn Telestrian and the Universal Brotherhood want? Aunt Lynn was very excited to have me there, almost manic. She talked about the inner circle and how I was going to be at its center. She said I would be their queen. The way she spoke, it was as if she had seen God or something. Her eyes close and she hugs herself tightly. But it's not God she sees. It's bugs. Only bugs. Was it Arkeem that helped you in the Matrix? She smiles in love. Yes, even after my father ruined his life and convinced me to hate him, he's still been watching over me. My angel in cyberspace, Baron Samedi. After we escaped, I told Arkeem about the Brotherhood and about the bugs. It was his idea to steal Project Aegis so you could go back into the Universal Brotherhood and exterminate the bugs. But I don't know how he knew it. Baron Samedi just knows things. So what did Arkeem tell you about us breaking into your father's office? Nothing. I was spoken to this last night. Why? What happened? It went as planned until your father's heel found me and brought me in. Of course it wasn't planned. Arkeem is amazing in the Matrix. I'm sure I'll hear from him soon. I should go. Ah, there's Quoth. This is my last chance. I kind of need to take advantage of it. In addition to the Aegis-loaded launchers we will provide, I'm authorizing to outfit you with anything from clothing to weapons to supplies. I don't think he has anything that isn't already available, but this is our last chance to purchase it. SmartLink version. But I don't think it's significantly different. I think SmartLink data jack equipped weapons have a slightly higher accuracy chance. But honestly, that hasn't been an issue so far, so I'm not worried about that. Yep, outfits are maxed out. Show me what you have. At this point, there's really nothing holding us back apart from our essence. So I think the only thing I could do is upgrade something I already have. So it'd probably be Cyberleg Alpha or the Dermal Plating Alpha. Let's see, if I did both of those, that's like, what, 8,500? It's probably too much. HP, quickness, and dodge. So I'd get +1 to dodge or +1 to body. 6% chance to hit. 3% chance to hit. I think these have the exact same essence cost. Well, it's essentially the same. 1.5. And this one, essence cost is 1. That would actually take it down a little bit. Or I wouldn't have, like, lose so much. Okay, we're gonna do that. And that. That's probably the most I can do. If I go any further, I'm not going to really be able to hire much help. This helps me to do about 5,000 on average, since I'm getting Harlequin for free. I'd like to get that leg upgrade, but it's just not going to happen. Oh, good. Alright, Rinko is now as decked out as she physically can be. I now have higher native armor, body, and quickness. So, to say she's quite the powerhouse at this point would be underselling it a bit. So, there's really nothing else for it. It's time to go. Are you ready to get knee-deep in ectoplasm? I'm ready. Let's stomp some bugs. His eyes light up. I thought you'd never ask. Filled magical insecticide. Let's see. Can I not see the stats on my weapon here? I'm pretty sure it went from weakest to strongest, so I'm gonna... No, why not send the middle one? That way there's no risk. I suppose you should know, Telestrian's technicians only had time to create a few prototype Aegis launchers. I'll be taking one, naturally. Those for you. Treat her well. If you want additional bug-splattering firepower, James has agreed to allow one of his personal elite guard to accompany us with the final prototype weapon. And now, let us away. We have a date with Destiny, and she doesn't like to be kept waiting. Oh yeah, the launcher? It's always a shotgun-type weapon. Yes. You literally are forced to use a shotgun, whether you have any stats in it or not. At any rate, we definitely want the guard, and I promised Coyote that she could get her closure. Doesn't leave me with, what, about 5,000 left over? Technically, I could get that leg. It's just fun to dodge, though. It's not that big a deal. Let's do it. Head to the hive beneath the Universal Brotherhood. The hunt begins. Your return to the Universal Brotherhood is anything but subtle. The team hits the same backdoor Coyote found and you storm through, quickly making your way into the restricted area and the room where you last met Jessica, then first encountered the bug. You stand there together, listening to the sounds of chittering coming from somewhere distant. Harlequin stares into the darkness, humming tunelessly while fingering the sword on his hip. Then he turns, lifts his Aegis launcher to his lips, and gives it a kiss. You give the signal, and the hunt begins.